Hi, I'm Morgan.
And I'm Megan, twins and host of M&M Chat, a monthly podcast that brings together our many commonalities: motherhood, farm life, fitness, chasing our passions, and Go Chat. It is our goal to create a show that is positive, real, and fun. Now let's dive into season two.
Season 2 is titled Calming the Messy. We will be breaking the year into 4 series. We decided to focus on series for the year 2023 to help us dive deeper and enrich our conversations. We are so excited about this. The fourth series is called Small Actions, Big Changes. And January is all about wellness habits that align with your goals. Now, we would like to preface before we get started that Megan and I are not experts. By no means we are claiming to be experts in the field of wellness, but we are super passionate about the subject. If you follow us on social media, you probably have seen our posts before, and we just want to share our experiences with you. Our hope is to start our conversation around the idea of what wellness looks like to us, but also we want to use our podcast as a way for us all to continue to grow. This is something that we are all working towards. Perfection is never going to be the answer. It's progress over perfection. So, Megan, just to kind of kick us off here, we are in January. It's January 9th as we record this right now. And many people set resolutions. I've been seeing all over the media, all this news about resolutions. Do you set resolutions, and kind of tell me your experiences with that?
Okay, to be honest, I don't set them anymore, which is probably shocking because we are very much, both of us are planner people and goal setters and that type A personality where we want to always be achieving to the next thing. But let me tell you why I don't create them anymore. So I used to create New Year's resolutions all the time years ago. Most of the time they had to do around wellness because it's after the holidays and you feel kind of like sluggish from all the holiday foods, from being cooped inside. So a lot of times it was I wanted to do a certain type of exercise, or I wanted to work out so many days, or it was on I wanted to do a diet, no sugar, like it was like crazy goals that I had set for myself for the New Year's resolution. And to be honest, I was one of the statistics that would usually fail those New Year's resolutions by the middle of January or by February and wouldn't continue those habits because they were really extreme. They were like drastic from what I was doing to what I expected myself to be doing within a few days of starting the New Year's resolutions. And when the excitement wore off, I just wasn't as excited and motivated, inspired by those goals anymore. I didn't have enough why behind them that I just kind of gave up on them. I know a lot of people do set New Year's resolutions and some people do stick with them, and that's great. And I really cheer those people on and continue to support them. But my thing with my ladies, like in my accountability group, is I want to show them that you can create habits all year long and not just for the new year, for the month of January. We want to create things that are going to be sustainable and last. What about you, Morgan? Do you create New Year's resolutions?
I am kind of in the same boat with you. I have in the past, and like you said, a lot of them have been wellness goals. I think one year I set out to read the entire Bible from start to finish. And like you said, those goals are so lofty that sometimes on the beginning of the year, they seem really exciting, but then they can seem daunting by the end of January because you have the entire year ahead of you. The excitement has worn off. And I think when we take smaller bites, we can chew a lot more of the food throughout the year versus if we're trying to just eat the whole thing at once. Like if we can really make those small changes, we can make lasting changes, like you said, to be more sustainable. And I understand that the beginning of the year is so exciting. And I do think we should reevaluate where we are at. Because in the holiday season, we do tend to maybe get off track a little bit. We do tend to maybe splurge a little bit more on tasty treats. And so I think the new year is a really good time to check in with ourselves. reevaluate, visualize what we want the year to look like, but not set these huge, lofty goals that are just not attainable. We want to make sure that we're going to have success throughout the year and make that sustainable. So I looked up resolutions and some stats on Google. And these were just some general stats that popped up right when I searched on Google. So you can find these. But some of the stats were 45% of Americans usually make New Year's resolutions. So almost half of America sets a resolution. And this was based off of 2022. 17% of Americans infrequently make New Year's resolutions. 38% absolutely never make resolutions. So almost half make resolutions, and then less than 20% never do, or frequently do, and then 38% never do. So 8%, this one is what got me though. 8% of Americans actually achieve their resolutions.
That's
8%.
crazy. Only 8% and 45% of the American population makes resolutions. That's really eye-opening.
Yes.
And it makes you wonder like why? Why are people not reaching their goals? Because I mean, if it's a goal that they have, then it comes back to, okay, well, maybe it is too lofty of a goal. Maybe they aren't set up for, they don't even know what actions they need to take to reach that goal, so then they give up quickly.
Mm-hmm. In January too, if you live somewhere where it gets cold, a lot of times this can be a hard season anyways to make it from winter to spring, because you kind of get those winter blues. So sometimes too, if we set these really high expectations on ourselves, there can be seasonal changes in there too that affect your
Your
motivation,
motivation.
or yeah. I think also because sometimes it feels like you get a renewal of energy in the spring. So if we just make some small changes heading into spring, then spring you can kind of refocus almost quarterly. I like almost
Yeah.
looking at it as a quarter of each season is kind of a chance to kind of reevaluate yourself.
Yeah, and looking at having
Um,
those actions like progress. So what can you start with in January? And then in February, could you do something along with that to make it progress and get you closer to that goal? But not doing it all at once and making it so like it's a complete lifestyle switch, like gradually adding in those healthy habits. So like if you have a New Year's resolution or a goal to exercise. Well, maybe your first goal isn't like, I want to lose the 20 pounds this month. Maybe your first goal is, I want to walk out 3 times each
mhm.
week, not even 7 days a week or not even 6 days a week. Just start with 3 days. And then maybe in February, you add on a stretching day. I want to walk out 3 days and then a stretching day, or I want to walk out consistently 4 days a week. Like you just add on those and progress versus like having it all be all or nothing right away.
Yeah, I agree. And some of the top resolutions tie in with what we've been talking about. The top three are health related: eat healthier, exercise more, and lose weight. I also think that tells me something about where we are as a society. And I think we really need to focus on wellness. We can get into a whole nother conversation about this, but I think we even need to touch on it more in schools. We need to start younger. And I think we need to not look at it as something to dread, but look at it as something exciting that we have this opportunity, this that was provided to us, and we want to take the best care of it. And that doesn't mean you deprive yourself. I think when we think of health, we think of deprivation. But health can be so exciting and it can be fun. And we need to change our mindset around that. And we need to
Yeah,
motivate ourselves through that change of mindset and not focusing on the negative.
I was just gonna say that too with the mindset. I think it's mindset plays a huge role in it because I do think as a society, eating healthy, exercising more, and losing weight does tell us something that, okay, maybe as a society, we do have that as one of our health concerns, is maybe not being as physically fit as we would benefit from, like in our own health. But I wonder if that also has a mindset connection to it. Are people not happy with their bodies because they haven't done the mindset work? So maybe they make these goals because they don't feel confident in their own skin. Maybe they make these goals because they try on outfits 10 times before deciding on one. Maybe they make these goals because they physically are tired and feel like weighed down and don't have the energy to run around with their kids. So they're like, well, the problem is that I need to lose weight. So I think we need to also look at like, are people doing the mindset work throughout the year, not just setting that goal and expecting to achieve it in January, but then not doing the mindset work to be able to even set yourself up to achieve it. Because if you don't have that mindset behind it, then you're not gonna get very far with the actions that you need to take to get there.
And I think New Year's resolutions are always numbers. I want
Yes.
to lose this much weight. I want to work out this many times of the year or the week. I want to drink this much water. And all of those things are good in themselves. But when you don't reach them, you feel defeated. I think we need to focus more on to how do we feel? Like you
Yeah.
said, it starts with the mindset. Just changing how I think about myself, like if I'm trying on clothes, if I look in the mirror and I tell myself something negative, I'm gonna go in through that out that day feeling like pretty bleh. But if I look at myself and even if I'm not feeling 100%, if I look at myself and I say something positive, I'm going to have that more happy outlook going into my morning and not feeling frustrated. So even just making those small changes, and that doesn't happen overnight. Like you and I have been on this journey. I was shocked the other day when you posted in our accountability group that we've been a part of Beachbody for 4 years.
Yeah, because
And
I've been a coach. This is going on my third year as a coach, and you were doing Beachbody. I was doing it a year before coming becoming a coach, and then you were doing it like a year before that.
yeah, so 4 or 5 years we've been at this journey and we've like we've mentioned before, we've always been passionate about it, but in the last 4 or 5 years we've really learned more about ourselves, learned more about the whole body together and not just separating nutrition, fitness. Like we've put everything together and we have so much more to grow. I mean, over Christmas break, I will be honest, I was kind of in a negative place. You even told me, "Hey Morgan, I think you should put your scale away."
Yeah,
Like
like you
so
kind of
you and I
reverted
are
back
growing
to
all
some
the
of
time.
yeah, and you kind of reverted back to some of those old thoughts and habits that you had before this journey. And so it's a continuous work in progress.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, like we will plateau or we will kind of revert back. So we need to continue to work on our mindset and continue to work through those healthy habits and not think, oh, we've got them. And in reality, we need to refocus and be intentional with them.
Yes, and it's definitely a marathon, not a sprint. And with your life changes too, like having kids now, it's definitely like ebbs and flows of your wellness journey.
Oh yeah. Yep, it definitely is. I agree with that 100%. So the other ones that were in the top resolutions besides eating healthy, exercise, and losing weight, finances were a big one, learning a new skill, reading more books, drinking more water, drinking less alcohol, which did you know on Instagram, have you been seeing a lot of people are doing dry January, which is interesting to me.
Side
Um,
note on that, speaking of dry January, I've been getting sucked into some of these Instagram ads.
yeah.
And there seems to be a lot of non-alcoholic like spritzers or like non-alcoholic wine out there. And even Katy Perry has a non-alcoholic wine line.
Oh,
And I'm like intrigued. I'm
yeah.
intrigued. I kind of want to try some of these, but I know I need to not get sucked into all of the Instagram ads. So
Yes.
okay, go back to your list.
And then getting organized, quality time with family, and stop procrastinating, which you notice that all of these goals are things that make us feel good. Why are the hardest things in life things that make us feel good? Like we specifically sabotage ourselves, not on purpose, but like in a roundabout way, like us as a population, we sabotage ourselves saying we don't want to do these things. But in reality, we know we'll feel so much better if we're organized. We'll feel so much better if we spend quality time with family, if we stop procrastinating, if we read more books, if we drink more water, if we drink less alcohol. We
Yeah.
know all of these things feel good, but yet we choose not to do them.
Well, and I have been kind of, we have one of our episodes coming up, or one of our next series is all about getting organized and how to calm that messy.
Which I
And
laugh because I need some of those tips
yeah,
myself.
so those are all of that whole series is going to be talking straight to me because that's one of my goals for 2023. But it's interesting because I actually think that's health related too with our mindset. I was listening to You Can Sip With Us, which is another podcast that we love that we've mentioned before. And Colleen had someone come in and organize her closet. And
Mm.
she said her cortisone levels like dropped drastically when she would walk into her closet back before it was organized. She would feel stressed. She's like, I don't like any of my clothes. I don't want to wear this. I don't like coming in here. She said once the people came and organized it, she feels happy going in there. She can see all of the clothes that she has. She likes pairing different outfits together. She said she feels just a sense of calm walking into this nice, neat, and clean space.
Oh,
And I thought that was really interesting.
I can buy that because like when you think about when you go on vacation and it's like the place is all nice and clean because the housekeepers had cleaned it before you got there and you go to sleep, you wake up the next morning and you drink some coffee, just watching TV or on the patio or out by the pool and you just feel so relaxed and calm. I remember specifically going on like a mission trip and we went to an Airbnb and the house was just nice and clean and the coffee tasted so much better. Like it was just typical coffee from the store. I think we went to Walmart before we went to the Airbnb. But the coffee tasted so creamy and delicious because I think the place was just super calm. I was sitting there just sipping on my coffee versus when your house is not necessarily completely clean and organized, which knowing us moms can't have everything on a to-do list done. And I'm gonna say that's one of my goals here later, like not getting anxious by not having my to-do list done. But like it stinks when you have to pull off a hair from your dog off of your cup before you drink your coffee because there's hair floating around. So like it just is not calming and it's not relaxing and you're like, whatever, I don't even want it anymore.
I do have to point out for you guys on YouTube, there's something about even like your materials though, because your cup you just showed me looks a lot more cozy than mine. And I love my cup. It keeps it nice and hot. But there's something about drinking out of just an actual mug.
Yes. And it says wifey.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
drinking one of the matcha lattes.
I actually just put more matcha tea in my Amazon cart. I need to get more
Mm.
of that because if I kind of want to start alternating caffeine coffee versus matcha every once in a while too to so I'm not so dependent on caffeine and coffee. But tonight I'm drinking coffee with my primal creamer that
Oh,
I've shared on stories. It's a
yeah.
healthier alternative creamer. Okay, so let's get back on track so we make sure we cover everything. We have a few more things that we want to go through. So one thing too that can really help you determine if you are going to achieve your goals or not, or like keep your resolutions, is knowing your personality type. So Megan and I did an episode in November that was episode number 11, and it was called What's Your Type? And we dive into personalities and enneagrams and knowing your characteristics and your traits and how that can help you. Because if you know better and understand the reasons why you do the things that you do or how you think, then you can problem solve. If you know that you don't tend to be a very motivated person and you know that about yourself, you can better set yourself up by putting things in place. Like maybe you need to set out your workout clothes the night before. Maybe you need to work on a morning routine. Like you can set yourself up. I know I'm not good at drinking water unless I have a big tumbler that I only
Yes.
have to fill this up twice. I know that about myself. If I just drink out of a plastic water bottle, I'm going to drink one or two of those in a day. If I
Yeah.
fill this up, I'm going to drink my water goal. So I know that about myself. So I think just understanding your personality will really help.
I think so too. And it will just kind of let you try different things too. Like you said, you know that you don't have, when you just have a water bottle, like a plastic water bottle versus your tall water bottle, you know that you're not going to drink as much. So just playing around too, like what works for you, trying different things, I think is key. But another strategy is not only knowing your personality type, but also having a vision board. So I know Morgan is going to talk about her vision board here in a little bit because she's been doing one for the last couple years. I did not do one last year, which I wish I would have, but I did one the prior year and it was a game changer. So I decided to go back to it this year. And I actually jumped on a call with our Beachbody group and it was all about vision boards. So some things that I took away from that call is why vision boards work. So vision boards are really a roadmap that give you directions for what actions you should take for the year, not just January, but for the year. And then set your goals on your vision map to how you want to feel. We already talked about that a little bit. Don't just have them be number goals, but like, what do you want to take away from that? Why do you want to do it? Set your goals so that you can grow into them. And then write your goals as first person. This is a Rachel Hollis strategy. She always likes to say, like, write them as if they already happened. So then you start in your brain feeling confident about that goal, and it starts to be ingrained in you, and it's just natural feeling. And then putting your limiting beliefs aside. Limiting beliefs are things that hold you back. So if you have a goal of, let's say, like with me coaching, I would like to grow a team of people underneath of me who are also coaches that I can help mentor. Well, some limiting beliefs that I may have is that I don't know if I am that great of a coach that can lead them. I don't know if people would actually want to be on my team and have me guide them because what if they can learn things better from somebody else? So like I can have those limiting beliefs, but try to put them aside when you're creating your vision board and try to be confident with yourself and put them as, you know what? No, I am a great leader. People do want to be on my team and we're going to grow together in the leadership that I desire for what we have going forward. But then also when you are creating a vision board, decide if you want a timeline. So if you have a big dream, like a big dream to build a house, when do you want that goal to be achieved by? Or do you want it to be just like in general within the next 2 to 5 years? So you can decide if you need a timeline on it or not. Some of them might not have a timeline. Like if you have a on your vision board to go on a date once a month, that's not really going to have an end timeline. It's just going to be like once a month, we're going to try to go on a date. And then setting the mood for when you're working on your vision board. So make sure you do it in a time where you don't have distractions. So maybe do it in the early morning. Maybe do it after the kids have gone to bed, during your lunch break. Just doing it in a time that works for you that's distraction free. Put your phone away. Maybe set some candles out, set some music, grab some coffee or some tea, a cozy blanket. If it's nice out, maybe do it outside. But the biggest thing is just making sure you give yourself about 15 to 30 minutes, probably, maybe a little bit more if you want to dig deeper into it. But you can totally do digital, you can do it on paper. I did mine on Canva, so I will share my screen and show that to you.
If you are listening to the podcast and you want to check this out, Megan mentioned she's sharing. You can go to YouTube and find us on YouTube under M&M Chat, and you'll be able to see her vision board. I will share mine as well, but we'll talk through what they look like too.
Okay, so here is my vision board. I've set it up into 12 different categories. And so I have faith, marriage, family, teaching, coaching, financial, health, professional development or personal development, travel, hobbies, house projects, and big dreams. So I did mine on Canva, just digitally, put some pictures in there that were important to me, and then created one or two different goals that I have for each of those different topics or different categories, I should say. And then yours, Morgan, I'll stop sharing my screen. Do you want to share yours?
Yeah, so I've done mine on paper the last few years. So, like Megan mentioned, I've done mine. I've actually done four of them in the past, and they all look a little bit different. So, this was my first year, um, second year. So, that one I didn't have any magazines, so I just drew on it and found some stickers and stuff. My third year is kind of a big collage. And
I
every
love
year
how
I
you've
set,
kept them.
yeah, they're actually all in this sleeve here, so I can refer back to them.
Oh,
And it's
cool.
really fun to go back and look at them because it's things come to fruition when you visualize them and when you bring them to attention and you pray about them. And I think when you have them in your like forefront of your brain, and like you said, when you set those phrases as I am this, or I will do this, or I did do this, then that whole mindset shift changes into possibility versus futuristic. Like it's more of like, I want to reach out and grab it versus that's so far off in the future. This year's I have um more simple pictures. Actually, my word of the year or my phrase of the year is to slow down. And so every year it's kind of funny also to look back. Like last year it was like kind of messy and crazy. And then this year is like more like nicely cut out and it's more simple. So it's funny too, like what your priorities are from year to year. Last year I was really trying to grow the flower business, and I am this year too. But my goal more this year is to become settled because I just feel
Mhm.
really unsettled. Like I feel like my heart is constantly like anxious, and I just feel like we don't feel settled since we are kind of in this transition with our house and stuff and with the
Yeah.
business. So I like to just take a magazine and save them throughout the year. My Papa John actually gave me a whole bunch of garden magazines, which is perfect for me. So I have things like Sweet and Simple. I want to start cooking more, so I have some fresh herbs here. Sirloin, we want to start selling beef and our own beef from our farm. I have a kitchen because I really want to find peace in the kitchen. Like
Hmm.
that's what I'm so excited about with our house build is our kitchen.
Yes.
Um, and then just kind of creating that calm and cozy feeling. I have some family here that's canoeing down a river, that's just spending quality time. Here's a mom and a son. Um, Flowers that have better nutrition, stronger immunity today, is more important than ever. So kind of just that whole idea of simplistic and organized and calming is what
Yeah.
I'm kind of, and that doesn't mean I don't have strong, big goals and dreams. Um, it's just this year I kind of want to take a slower pace at reaching those, which that's kind of what our whole podcast episode is about, anyways, about small changes that make lasting impact.
Yeah, and I love how our vision boards can all look different. We did this activity in our accountability group, and we got a huge variety of different vision boards and different ways that people did them. So it's so cool to see. So if you end up making a vision board, tag us and post it on social media if you don't mind, because it would be so cool to just see everybody's vision boards. And they can be like as simple as you want it to be or as detailed as you want it to be. It's your thoughts and your intentions for the year. All right.
Yes.
Should we talk about our top tips for just living healthy and having wellness habits throughout the entire year, not just for a New Year's resolution of getting fit? Like these are things we want to be sustainable and not just a quick fix. So, what are your top tips, Morgan?
Yes, I can kind of go through. So we have six tips here that if you take anything away from this podcast episode, these are six tips that would really help move you forward in reaching those goals that you have. Um, my first tip is just to move daily. That can look however you see fit, whatever feels good for you. It could be yoga, it could be high intensity. I just really recommend moving daily, doing something. Number two is drink half of your body weight in ounces of water a day. So get yourself a big tumbler if you need that motivation to, I fill this at least twice every day. And then my third tip is to give yourself grace, let go of perfection, just make those small changes and know that you're going to have setbacks, and that's okay. That's part of the human process. We're not perfect. We won't ever be perfect. So just keep moving forward. And just because you fall off and you don't maybe reach your goals, or you don't make movements to reach your goals today, that doesn't mean you can't pick right back up tomorrow. You don't have to just throw it out the window.
I see
Megan,
that
what's
a
the
lot.
other three goals there or
Yeah.
tips?
Yep. To go back to the like if you fall off the bandwagon or you miss a day, that's where it goes back to the whole point of it's progress, not perfection. I have so much experience with that in our accountability group where sometimes the ladies will start a program or start a nutrition program where they try to learn more about proper nutrition and miss a day and then feel like, "Well, I'm just gonna throw in the towel and be done, and I'm not gonna continue on with it just because it's not for me." When in reality, it's working, they're making progress, they feel good, but because they missed a day, they feel like they can't do it. And I really want to like hone in this year on do what feels good. So like if it didn't feel good today and you missed it because you were tired, that's okay. Like maybe it will feel good tomorrow and you can press play tomorrow. So don't just throw it out the window because you missed a day. And I think that's why New Year's resolutions fail so often is because people feel like they miss a day and then they're done
Mm-hmm.
and instead have it be a lifestyle like working out, moving your body, even if it's following one of our programs in our accountability group or it's just walking. We need to move our bodies. Think of our bodies as like an engine. If you don't move it, it's not going to walk. You
Mm-hmm.
need to move it to keep it going. And that's with eating properly too. Like it's not just a diet for this one time, you need to continue on it. And if you miss a day on healthy eating, so what? Like eat healthy tomorrow. It's okay. Um, or the next meal. It doesn't have to be the next day. But anyways, sorry, I'll get off my tangent there. But number four with our tips that we want to take away is meal planning. If you're not setting yourself up for preparation with meal planning, it'll be easy to just grab and go meals or just bake something frozen, which something I need to continue working on for this year because with having a baby, it is hard to not just cook something easy or grab something to go. I totally get it, moms out there, or people who have busy jobs, or people who have after work obligations that you have extra. Like, I get it, life is busy and it can be hard. So, planning ahead is key and it does help, I promise you. Journaling, prayer time, this will just help with that mindset. And also the prayer will help with just knowing kind of God's plan for you. Maybe you set some of the things up on your vision board and then realize that God wants you to move in a different direction. Totally okay. And then continue to educate yourself. So, like Morgan said on the Enneagram types, educate yourself on how you function best. Educate yourself on what kind of exercises you like to do, what kind of nutrition works best for you. Do you have any sensitivities? Educate yourself on mindset, all of that thing, all of those things, vision boards, all of it.
With
Um,
along with that education, I was
yeah.
just gonna say that's where so my I have mentioned on my stories before that I have been struggling with hormonal acne after having Dean in that postpartum time, which Dean's 2 now. So I'm kind of out of that postpartum stage, but I've still been struggling with hormonal acne and kind of getting that under control. So that's the research I've been doing a lot lately. So I'm very like definitely a lifelong learner. No matter what is I'm going through in that season, I think I'm kind of sometimes get laughed at for it because no matter what I'm doing, I'll research it. So when I was potty training, when I was learning how to feed Dean, now I'm learning about hormonal acne. So definitely education is your friend. Now don't just go Google crazy because you'll find everything. Just make sure it's a valuable source and a credible source. My next goal for this year is to cook more, which goes along with that tip of meal planning and meal prepping. I really want to get back to knife and veggies and cutting things and unplugging. I feel like that's a really good time to unplug and just like walk at a task and walk with your hands. It's kind of like how I feel when I'm in the garden when I'm cooking.
Yeah.
Calming my heart and stress levels. I feel like that's another issue I've been having acne is because I just feel like I'm constantly in this last year just kind of feeling a little frustrated because things are out of my control, especially with the house build and stuff, not being able to move that timeline like I would if I was in control.
Yeah.
And then adding more veggies to my plate and making sure that I'm getting all of those benefits of the nutrients. I also kind of want to uptake my healthy proteins and get more beef in my diet as well, more iron, protein. I eat a lot of chicken and fish, which I eat a lot of beef too, but I want to up that as well.
Same. Kyle's aunt always messages me when I post my meals and says, "Where's the beef?" And I'm like, "Trust me, we have beef too. I just am posting the meals that have a lot of veggies in them and posting the meals that are on our meal plan so I can promote those. But trust me, we have hamburgers too. I just need to post those more often."
Yes. Yes. Okay, wrapping up. We only have 2 minutes left before we want to wrap up here, Megan. So, what are your goals that align with some of those tips that we mentioned?
Yeah, so you guys can take a look at our vision boards. We have shared them. I should actually post it maybe on my timeline too so people can go back to it. But I've already kind of mentioned some of my fitness goals, nutrition goals, just working on balanced macronutrients, not deprivation, foods that make me feel good, water, maybe less alcohol. And then working on my skin, like Morgan had mentioned, also for hers. So with the education, just following up with that. I've been using Clear Stem, which I heard about on the Skinny Confidential Him and Her podcast. And it is the Clear Stem is created by Danielle, sorry, excuse me, Danielle, the acne guru, and Kaylee. And what I like about them is that it does work on the vitamin scrub. I use the Clarity Serum, the Cellular New, which works on hormonal acne, and then the Hydra Glow Stem Cell Moisturizer. But it's all natural ingredients and it's not going to age your skin as well. So it helps with all of that. If you want to check them out, please do because I feel like it's been really helping me. That is mine in a nutshell. Like I said, you can take a look at our vision boards to find a little bit more about our goals. But I hope you guys took something away from this today. And we are so excited for this new year in 2023 and creating the different series. So tune in for learning more about calming the messy and how we can take small actions to make big changes. If you like our podcast, please share it and tag us and let us know what you think.
Bye, everyone. See you next time.
Bye.